Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Free with Gold review. I'm Jester, and today we'll be looking at Super Dungeon Bros. This title is free until the 15th of November in the Xbox Live Store, if you've got an Xbox One. And we're here so you can more accurately answer that question, is it worth my space on my hard drive? Straight to the basics, the game's just over 3.5 gigs to download, so it's really not that big. But it goes for a whopping $20 at full price, which is the same price you can get for a quality dungeon delving game, maybe say Diablo 3. But hey, it's free until the 15th, so it's hard to compete with that. The job of the game is to dive deeper and deeper into this big dungeon for some obscure reason, which supposedly is offset by the game's frantic, continuous, and quickly repetitive combat. Each character begins with the default broadsword, armor, and a group of one-liners meant to keep the action fresh.
Is this a bad time to admit that I'm a night farter?
You need to watch your step, shit.
Attacks vary by each weapon equipped, and each has a strong and special attack. But special attacks can't be recharged over time, and must be charged only by finding or buying special items. Think of exploring a dungeon in Diablo, only that dungeon never ends and gets boring rather quickly. Players select one of 4 playable characters in the beginning of the game, and join up with one of their 4 friends, or go online into matchmaking when entering the quote-unquote dungeon. These characters are customizable with different weapons and abilities. The players have the option of using earned quote-unquote shards to purchase extra music tracks, armor, and even female playable characters who practice, as their dialogue says, a gluten-free lifestyle. These shards can be found at the end of boss battles in star-shaped present boxes for those who survive. But how is the gameplay? Well, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I found myself performing the same attacks over and over and over again, against small variations of the same enemy, for several hours while broadcasting live. Granted, like dungeon defenders, you can eventually buy new weapons and armor as you learn more of the game's currency, but this takes time, and I found myself burnt out of the game by the time I got my first new weapon. Whoa, that's a way better super than my last. Also, there's no discernible difference between each quote-unquote depth or level as you progress through, other than some enemy toughness and a little variance. There doesn't seem to be any newness to your progress until later in the game, and granted, I quit playing altogether once getting to depth 3, and believe me, there's a reason I didn't go any further than that. The absolute worst thing about the game isn't necessarily the content, it's the multiplayer interaction. First, I found myself waiting for up to 5 minutes just to find players in a matchmaking lobby at Xbox Live. And sometimes, after I had found a party, I was kicked into looking for another, with no reason. Second, and even worse, if a pickup from Xbox Live does happen just to go AFK, or I guess AFC in this case, it prevents the progress for the rest of the party until that player times out. And frequently, other players rage quit before this happens. And third, and probably the most irritating about the multiplayer, is the constant kicks from in-game progress just back to the main screen. I honestly cannot even count how many times I have waited patiently with atrocious loading times, party connecting, player selections, more loading time, and then finally begin to fight monsters when all of a sudden, boom, you're kicked from the game either because the host connectivity was abysmal, or the another player just decided, hey, I really don't think I like this game, and leaves the rest of the party out to dry.
God, the servers are terrible in this game.
Despite these negative points, though, there were a couple of times I found myself having fun, but only when I was grouped with other players who knew what they were doing and had a good connection and worked as a team. But those encounters were rare at most. Perhaps if I was able to play with a dedicated party of my friends, or maybe some people who could be held accountable, the game would be a little more entertaining. So, should you get it? Honestly, for free, Super Dungeon Bros may be a good way to pass the time with your friends. But once the title goes back to $19.99, just do yourself a favor and buy Diablo 3 instead. Even if you already own it. I'd rather play Diablo 3 twice than know I spent $19.99 at games that's irritated me so much. At least I can give my friend a copy and we can both make new characters. Yeesh. Final score, 2 out of 5 if it's free, Diablo 3 out of 5 if you're paying full price. Trust me on this. Just trust me on this. That's all for this quick review, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on our channel and let us know what other games you'd like for us to review. We'll be back soon with the next free release of Xbox Games with Gold. And we'll be streaming on our Twitch channel weekday mornings at roughly 5:45 a.m. Pacific time. But if you can't watch the broadcast, don't worry. We'll have other videos up for you soon. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.